Today, we're diving into a blueprint for a really different kind of education. We're talking about one that prepares students not just for tests, but for the messy, complex, interconnected world they're actually going to live and work in. So let's see what that really looks like. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, the old model of teaching math in one room and history in another just feels, well, it feels kind of outdated when the real world's problems and all its opportunities are completely tangled together. So what's the alternative? Well, one answer is a curriculum called the Global Citizen Education Pathway, or GCEP for short. And its core mission is pretty simple: to develop students who can thrive, not just in their own backyard, but, on a global stage.
Okay, so how does a curriculum like this actually work? Well, it all starts with its foundation. 5 core philosophies that are literally woven into every single lesson and every single project.
And here they are. These are the 5 key pillars: interdisciplinary, project-based, inquiry-driven, intercultural, and aiming for what are called global competencies. Now I know, these might sound like a bunch of buzzwords, so let's actually unpack what they mean in practice. First up, we have interdisciplinary learning. And think about it this way. In the real world, you never use just math or just history to solve a problem, right? You use everything you've got. So this approach mimics that by breaking down the walls between subjects to tackle really complex challenges, like, say, using data science to understand climate change. Next up is the project-based approach. This is all about learning by doing. Seriously. Instead of just memorizing facts for a test, students might spend weeks designing something like a water filtration system for a community that needs one. The end result isn't just a grade on a piece of paper. It's a real, meaningful project they've built from the ground up. Then there's inquiry-driven learning. The key idea here is that learning starts with a question, not an answer. It's all about empowering students to follow their own curiosity, to go out and research and explore instead of just sitting there passively receiving information. It really puts them in the driver's seat of their own education. Now, this 4th pillar, intercultural awareness, is just, well, it's non-negotiable in today's world. And this goes way beyond just knowing about different holidays. It's about developing the actual skills to understand, to respect, and to effectively collaborate with people from totally different backgrounds and perspectives. And all of these other pillars, they all build towards this final one: developing global competencies. This is really the capstone of the whole thing. It's about taking all that knowledge and all those skills and actually applying them to understand complex global issues, to think critically about solutions, and to feel empowered to take responsible action. So, okay, those are the philosophies, right? That's the what. But the real question is, how do you actually make this happen in a classroom? How does this blueprint come to life from Monday to Friday? Well, here's a look at the how. The secret sauce is that everything revolves around a single, unifying weekly theme. So the learning goals for math and art aren't separate things. They're explicitly linked together. Students get to tackle real-world challenges, and they use technology not as its own subject, but as a tool that connects all these different disciplines. I know this is still a little bit abstract, so let's make it super concrete. What does a single week in a GCEP classroom actually look and feel like for a student? Let's just take week 3 as an example. The central theme for the entire week is respect for living things. Now just watch how every single subject ties back to this one simple, powerful idea. Okay, this is where it all just clicks into place. Look at how beautifully these subjects weave together. In math, students are out collecting data on local wildlife, which feeds directly into their science project. In art, they're creating these nature-inspired pieces, which connects to the descriptive writing they're doing in language class. Even foreign language class gets in on the action, with students learning the names of local plants and animals. See, nothing exists in a vacuum. It's one completely integrated experience. So after years of learning this way, connecting subjects, working on projects, thinking globally, what's the end result? What kind of person emerges from this system? What's the ultimate outcome here? And this is the profile of that student. You see all the intellectual traits, of course. They're curious, they're creative, they're critical thinkers who can connect the dots. But just as important, look at the personal traits. They're collaborative, they're globally aware, and they're self-directed. And the whole thing is grounded in being an ethical, responsible communicator and citizen. Ultimately, it all boils down to this single idea from the source material. The whole goal is to create a future-ready student. And what does that really mean? It means a learner who is curious, collaborative, creative, and globally minded. Someone who not only thinks critically, but also communicates effectively, and, most importantly, acts ethically. Which really just leaves us with one big question to chew on. When you combine this intense focus on real-world problems with project-based learning and global awareness, are we looking at the future of education? It's definitely something to think about.